After playing Hollowbody for about half an hour with the recent demo, I'm already certain that the full release will be one of my favourite games of this year. From its bleak, rain-sodden dystopian landscape, to its music and atmosphere, to the perfectly captured PS2 era aesthetics, everything about this pushes all the right buttons. And, under all of that, everything is there to say that as a survival horror experience, it's going to be among elite company. Whilst Silent Hill 2 Remake is releasing in October, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on that, that's not the game I talk about when I say that survival horror has had a renaissance in recent years. Nor is it Resident Evil's recent remakes, even though Resi has been one of my favourite franchises since the days of the PlayStation 1. No, it's the indie games that, while evoking the nostalgia of Resident Evil and Silent Hill in their prime, have carved out their own path and given us something truly memorable that AAA survival horror hasn't been able to touch. All of that applies to Hollowbody, which describes itself as a tech-noir homage to classic survival horror. As you play, if you're familiar with the era, you can feel the influence of the PS2 on the game. While still a long way from the current age of people obsessing over which game better renders accurate eyelashes, we have good-looking, dynamic environments and character models that are no longer so stiff and blocky. For Hollowbody, this aesthetic is perfectly suited to the broken down and abandoned streets of a future Bristol, as rain pounds down onto streets lined with terraced housing and a brutalist tower block rises up from the gloom, a symbol of immiseration in the Tory Britain of the 1980s as much as in the post-apocalyptic Britain of Hollowbody's 2050s. From the demo, we don't know much of the story as of yet, beyond that your character Mika is searching for her partner Sasha and has crashed in this area where the only life to be found is a strange fungal growth and residents who don't take well to staying dead. However, the demo is rich in environmental storytelling, every scene dripping with details of social decline and abandonment. The appalling state of the world we explore is in part due to whatever calamity befell the area, but, it seems, equally a symptom of life here. The apocalyptic event we face isn't the cause of the misery so much as its final symptom. The grey-brown hue of the environment, sharply contrasted with the blue of the retro-futuristic inventory UI, suits this presentation down to the ground. As we move about, in the outside areas and the corridors of the block of flats, the camera follows us, but at a distance and out of our control, distinctly not the modern era over-the-shoulder camera. Whilst inside individual flats we revert to fixed cameras. The balance between the two feels right, keeping us from knowing what's around the corner, but never feeling excessive or obtuse. The long corridors and near identically laid out flats of the tower block work incredibly well for survival horror level design too. Rather than the monotony of the layout making them too easy to navigate, there's a lack of familiar landmarks that make it easy to get turned around, if only for a moment, as you step in and out of rooms. Whilst the need for keys and other items to unlock doors or clear blockages means that, although the demo is too short to show us too much of it, exploration is still as non-linear as any survival horror title, and from the moment we're inside, we're finding barriers that require key items which we'll have to backtrack to in the future. Creating the feeling, in buildings designed virtually to remove uniqueness and individuality, that there's plenty still to explore and more to see is quite the feat. What we see in the combat will be immediately familiar if you've played Silent Hill, or even Tormented Souls. You start with a revolver, you'll pick up a melee weapon along the way, and you can stomp when enemies are on the floor. Keeping your distance to do damage seems straightforward enough, but if you get too close it's easy to get hit, and the enemies take a lot of bullets or melee swings to put them down. In my playthrough I killed every enemy, but I think I used about every bullet I found, making it clear that avoiding enemies may be wiser in some instances. But that of course leaves them alive in places where you may need to backtrack, testing how good you are at giving them a wide berth. Returning to the story, the other main thing we have in the demo is Kirsten Rhea's performance as Mika. Again, the demo isn't very long and we don't really interact with any other characters beyond our hovercar's AI before it crashes and a mysterious voice on the phone. But what we do get speaks to a quick-witted and sarcastic character, who uses those traits to put on a defiant front against the threats first of having to abort her search for Sasha, then of whatever malaise haunts the tower block. The survival horror genre is known for its iconic women protagonists, all the way back to Jill Valentine and Claire Redfield, and even though we've only seen a glimpse of her, I feel confident that with the right treatment, Mika is well on her way to fitting this mould. Especially if she, like the setting, offers a uniquely British take on the genre. That dry sarcasm all the more necessary in the face of the rain-soaked post-apocalyptic immiseration of the UK, except fictionalised. We won't know for sure until we get our hands on the full game, of course, but to me, Hollowbody feels like it's going to be a truly great survival horror game. So if, like me, you've been enjoying the current revival of the genre, with games such as Tormented Souls, Signalis and Crow Country, you need to play the Hollowbody demo and add the game to your wishlist. The links are in the description. Let me know what you think of Hollowbody, and what your favourite survival horror indie games of recent years are, in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. Like the video that just popped up, which YouTube thinks you should watch next. This is a Patreon and member supported channel, so if you want to become a member and unlock custom badges and emojis, early access to my videos, and your name in the credits, then click the join button below. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.